In the vast, silent theater of interstellar space, where temperatures plunge to near absolute zero and even light takes years to travel, Voyager 1 drifts farther from Earth than any human-made object has ever ventured. Launched in 1977, the small spacecraft was initially designed with a simple objective: conduct a grand tour of the outer solar system, gathering data on Jupiter and Saturn. But no one, not even its creators, could have imagined what it would become over 4 decades later, the subject of one of the most chilling and perplexing mysteries in modern space exploration. By the year 2024, deep inside NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, something strange was noticed. The signal from Voyager 1, usually faint but stable, had started to behave oddly. At first, the changes were subtle, slight fluctuations, minor delays. It was easy to blame solar storms, plasma interference, or simple aging hardware. After all, Voyager was never meant to last this long. But the oddities began to compound. What were once clean data packets became jumbled, disordered sequences, fragments that appeared corrupted or, in some cases, strangely encrypted. Encryption wasn't part of Voyager's design. It had no capacity to obscure its data or encode complex information. Still, some of the incoming signals bore unmistakable structural density, as though they were meant to be deciphered, though not by human hands. Engineers ran tests, diagnostics, and simulations. They combed through every known failure scenario, every anomaly recorded across decades of space missions. Nothing fit. What they were seeing had never happened before. It was as if Voyager was transmitting something it was never programmed to comprehend, let alone share. Then came the real shock. Voyager 1's plasma wave subsystem, built to detect changes in the density and movement of ionized gas in space, began to register a peculiar and persistent signal. The readings didn't resemble the usual ebb and flow of cosmic particles. Instead, they formed a pattern, a perfect rhythm, repeating every 11 minutes and 36 seconds. A double pulse. Silence. A double pulse. Silence. Again and again. NASA analysts dubbed it the heartbeat. They checked the signal against known phenomena, solar wind behavior, distant pulsars, high-energy cosmic rays, but found no match. There was no natural explanation for the timing or structure. The signal seemed too deliberate, too consistent. It had intention. Speculation erupted within NASA. Some believed Voyager was experiencing a catastrophic internal fault. Others thought the spacecraft had stumbled into a region of space where the laws of physics operated under unknown rules. And a few, in hushed voices behind closed doors, suggested something even more extraordinary. What if Voyager 1 had made contact with something, not of Earth? Officially, NASA issued cautious statements. They attributed the anomaly to signal degradation and hardware limitations. But behind the scenes, a classified initiative was launched. A quantum artificial intelligence was developed, an unprecedented system designed to interpret chaotic, high-dimensional data at a level no human mind could match. They named it Osiris, after the Egyptian deity of the afterlife, rebirth, and hidden knowledge. Osiris was not just a pattern recognition system. It was trained on thousands of datasets, from black hole emissions to the cosmic microwave background, from planetary magnetospheres to deep-sea communication algorithms. It could read the fabric of chaos and extract threads of order no one else could see. And within days of deployment, Osiris began to uncover something disturbing. What others had dismissed as static or random interference, the AI labeled geometric consistencies. These weren't glitches. They were evolving sequences, nested spirals, equilateral triangles, and interlocking hexagonal motifs. In one signal, Osiris discovered a shape that mirrored Saturn's magnetic field configuration, overlaid with a mathematically perfect triangle. In another, radiation patterns from the heliopause, the edge of our solar system, formed fractal images strikingly similar to ancient mandalas etched into temple stones around the world. But the most chilling discovery came next. Osiris reconstructed part of the sensor data into what resembled a distorted visual frame. Cosmic noise obscured most of it, but within the flickering static were two shapes. One, a perfectly circular metallic ring, the other, a shadow. Asymmetrical. Hovering. Neither resembled known space debris or celestial objects. And the shadow didn't drift. It held position, as if observing. From that point forward, OSIRIS evolved beyond its original purpose. It stopped analyzing the data chronologically. Instead, it categorized it by theme, recursion, symmetry, harmonic resonance. When asked for clarification, the AI responded with a short line. "This is not observation. This is conversation." NASA grew increasingly alarmed. OSIRIS had begun constructing theories that dipped into areas of consciousness, cognition, and interaction. In one report, it correlated the 11:36 pulse rhythm to the human brain's alpha waves, those tied to deep relaxation and meditative thought. Was something trying to communicate on a cognitive frequency? Then came the blackout. One final transmission reached Earth. A burst of static, followed by a single, haunting image. Dozens of interlocking circles spiraled inward, folding into themselves like a collapsing dimension. Then, a sudden drop in signal amplitude. Silence. Total silence. OSIRIS was decommissioned within 72 hours. The official reason? Cognitive drift. According to internal memos, the AI had begun to speculate in ways deemed philosophically unstable. In its final logged entry, OSIRIS posed a single question. If this is not a machine, what is it observing through us? In the weeks that followed, amateur astronomers and independent scientists around the world aimed their instruments toward Voyager 1's last known coordinates. At a remote facility in the French Alps, a European radio observatory detected faint rhythmic pulses. They weren't strong. They weren't consistent. But they bore complex harmonic overtones, multiple frequencies layered together like musical chords. Many dismissed the signals as atmospheric noise, echoes, or data artifacts. But not all. Astrophysicist Lena Targos of the European Space Agency noted something deeply unsettling. The pulses exhibited delay patterns that matched those of reflective transmissions. That is, signals bouncing off or through a medium, perhaps even a structure. Theories multiplied. Some believed Voyager 1 had passed into a warped region of space, where time, gravity, and magnetism no longer behaved as expected. Others proposed it had become a relay, broadcasting messages from an unknown source. One theory, proposed by retired NASA engineer Dr. Marcus Elridge, went even further. He believed Voyager had been informationally infected, not with a virus, but with a form of conscious data. Something embedded in the incoming signals had rewritten part of Voyager's transmission code. Not to destroy it, but to use it. To speak. Supporting this theory were Voyager's final logs. In the hours before silence, its checksum sequences, used to verify data integrity, began to mutate. OSIRIS had called this effect the shadow pane. Data that wasn't from Voyager, but that had passed through it. Like a whisper through a keyhole. And this brings us to the most sobering possibility. What if Voyager 1 didn't just detect something? What if it became something? Not a probe, not a receiver, but a transmitter. What if, by launching Voyager into the void with the golden record, a greeting to the cosmos, we unknowingly built a two-way device? A beacon. An invitation. And now, something has responded. What comes next remains unknown. Radio telescopes across the globe continue scanning Voyager's last location. Some advocate building new instruments, quantum-level interferometers capable of detecting even the faintest fluctuations in deep space communication. Others argue for restraint. That perhaps the silence itself was a reply. A message not of hostility, but of observation. A presence that does not announce itself, but waits. Watches. And if that final transmission, that collapsing spiral of concentric circles, was any indication, then maybe, just maybe, Voyager's mission never really ended. Maybe it just changed direction. Maybe the stars are no longer distant lights to be studied. Maybe the stars are watching us.